never really got along very well because I always got into her things. Our school was a two-story brick building, but it had 8 grades in it, and each grade had a classroom. School started at 8:45 in the morning, and we had a 15-minute recess, and then we had an hour off for lunch. The children in town walked home for lunch, and those from the country who were bused in brought their lunch. And I was bad about bringing children home to lunch. Mother never knew who was going to join us at the lunch table, because if I felt sorry for someone, I just brought them home to my house for lunch. On Friday afternoons, we went to the auditorium and we sang for about an hour. We had every classroom gathered, and we sang songs. And then we had chapel was at 8:30 on Wednesday mornings. The gymnasium was behind the school, and that's where we had the Halloween carnival and the basketball games. And then we also had band practice back there. I was in the very first band that Dumas had. I played the bell lyre, and I was not very good at it. But we did have uniforms, and that made us look good whether we could play good or not. We thought we did a good job. But my sister went to Camp Lake Tour for girls, and later I went there too. And to get there, we went by train. We drove out to Watson, and we got on a little train called the Delta Eagle. It was a little short train that ran from Tallulah, Louisiana to Memphis. And we rode up to Memphis on that train, and my Aunt Ida met us at the station. And Aunt Ida always fixed me the neatest little lunch to take on the train. Well, I didn't know. We were bound for various places in the war. And so we had to ride in, I call it a cattle car. It had wooden benches for the seats, and there was no air conditioning, so we had to open all the windows on that car on the train. And from Memphis, we went up to Chattanooga, and from Chattanooga on to Asheville. Well, when you get up in that part of the country, there are lots of hills, and the train track wove all around in those hills. Well, all the soot from the engine would blow right back in your face. And I left home in a sweet little yellow dotted Swiss dress. By the time we got to Asheville, my dress was gray, and most of the other little dresses were gray too. Hours out there with my dolls, rocking them on the front porch, and I played all by myself. And we made mud pies. Oh, we had the grandest bakery in the backyard. We had a long table out there, and we made those mud pies and put them out to dry. Then the next day we'd come back and we'd decorate them with china berries and seeds and flowers, and weren't they beautiful? Lightning bug, or we'd put them in jars. We'd catch them at night, put them in jars, and then on Friday night we'd take them to the movie with us and let them all loose in the movie. I had a very good best friend. Her name was Maxine Turner, and she lived on the block behind us. And we walked to school together every day. The school would do cakewalks downtown. They'd make a big circle down in front of the drugstore, and everyone in town would come and sit on benches, and it cost you 10 cents to walk for a cake. You could pick out the cake you wanted to walk for, and was it fun to win. And on Halloween, we had great fun on Halloween. We would take yard equipment and tie it up on flagpoles and did all kinds of bad things. We'd soak all the windows downtown with soap so you couldn't see what was inside the windows. And car windows, we'd sew car windows, and we'd take people's lawn furniture and move it around from place to place. And one time, we tied a wagon up to the top of the flagpole. I don't know how we did that, but there were some very inventive boys in town who managed to get that job done. We had basketball games and football games. And one of the biggest things would be in the fall when the colored minstrels would come to town. We had two that always came every year, the Rabbitfoot Minstrel and the Georgia Minstrel. And that was always fun because our maids could take us to the minstrel and got to sit on the front row. And there was lots of dancing and singing. It was just a wonderful time.